Hello and welcome back to Not Another Leeds podcast, episode 11. Because another Leeds United podcast, there's loads of them, so why not another? I'm Danny, the main guy, if you will, of this trio. Tonight I am joined by the Leeds House lads, the two P's in this pod, the the other two to this podcast. Sorry, I'm high on caffeine. I don't know where. It's Kevin James. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
And there's no introduction needed for this, my next guest, because it's Ger of the Leeds United, The View, of
Hello.
particular fame. How are you doing, Ger?
All right, mate. I'm glad to be here. Looking forward to this.
Good, good. It's a pleasure to have you on here. And we've got 200 people watching. We aren't really. Sorry, I'm really hyped. I'm really hyped, but I'm just really up for it.
It's outside your house, Dan. It's 200 people outside your house.
Yeah, you're not coming in. Right, before we crack on, you won't believe it, lads. We've actually got another sponsor.
Oh,
And when he contacted me, I thought, fair play. I always got this. I'll play the sponsor, but tell me what you think, because fair play to him. And here we go.
The following is read by Jose Mourinho.
Introducing our soothing throat sweets by Lucky, with a blend of comforting flavors and a soothing touch. The sweets are your best chance to call the opposition players, and don't let discomfort hold you back. Grab a pack of Luckies today. Your voice is your choice. Make this choice Luckies.
Lockies are now available in blackcurrant flavour as well in your local shop. So fair play to Lockie for getting Mourinho to do that. What do you think, Joe? Are you going to get some?
Well, if Lockie and Mourinho are endorsing it, you have to get on board with it.
My glasses are stupid. I'm laughing.
I tell you what, if for the people out there listening, if you've got a sore throat after a game, you'd be shouting at everyone. Lockie's is a place to be. Fair play to him. Fair play to him for getting Mourinho. James,
It's what you get
what do you think?
it's what you get when you've got your ante in your team. Sends you a bit loopy, doesn't it?
Does.
Yeah. Yeah, he's doing adverts for Lockies. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Fair
guys, let's before I make a fool of myself anymore, let's go all the way back to the beginning and talk about the Bristol City game. So, as a general overview first, Joe, what was your thoughts of the game?
It was really good. I think it's probably the best we've played in a while. I think we thought a lot of things clicking together. We're still missing probably an end result in terms of the amount of chances we're creating in front of goal versus the amount of goals we're getting. But I thought there was some lovely moments. It was a weird one because it's 2-1 and you're always nervous Leeds are going to make a balls of it towards the end of the game because it's Leeds and we tend to do that. But I don't know, there's something about this group of players where you kind of maybe it'll happen, but it doesn't seem to happen. Outside of one mistake in the game, I felt pretty confident we were going to win that game. I actually thought we'd nick another one before the game closed out, but much better than it had been before that. Much better than it was against Southampton, and I think this team feels now like it's starting to find its rhythm a little bit.
Yeah, totally agree. What about you, Kev?
I agree with you. I think that we're that sense of feeling that you get being a Leeds fan when we're 2-1 up going into the last 10 minutes seems to be disappearing a lot more than it has been over the last few years with us. Even under Bielsa, we were playing excellent football and we were scoring goals, but there was always that thought in the back of your mind that they were going to score past us as well. It's just good. It's just good at the minute. And yeah, I agree. Bristol was really, really good game for us. The way we defended crosses coming into the box, fantastic. The best I've seen us defend aerially for a long time. So yeah, really happy.
Aerially. James, penny for your thoughts?
Yeah, defensively we are much better than we've been in a long time. We seem organised. Strauch and Roden are amazing together. Borum's been class. And then I think that right side, soon as I keep saying, Spence comes in, I think there's going to be not a lot of people getting through that. But yeah, I think there's still a few levels for us to go as well. Once everyone gets clicking even more, and obviously we get them better players in. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, definitely.
Yeah, it's so good just to see not having to compensate. I mean, I like Cooper, but Strike's always he's better at the left centre back. and I just think they really complement each other. So for me personally, I think that game is one of the the movement and the synergy in the team is probably one of the best it's been so far in the season. Just the passing and knowing where the other players are going to be. For me, if you go to the build up of that Rutter miss, if you pass it around the back and it's just the sheer the runs and just space we go into, and Byron pass it on, and it's a good little sort of dummy chip, like a nozzle pass, if you will, and Rutter just gets on the wrong side of it. James, how many holes did you put in the wall when you saw that miss?
46, I think. I stopped counting. I stopped counting after 30.
I put 47.
That was
Are you Kev a fiver?
He does.
I owe you 3 tons of polyfill.
Yeah, just give me a new wall, mate. Someone down on the new wall.
Jay, do you think that as we progress throughout the season, just going on a bit of a segue, sorry, it can only get better, right?
Yeah, I think so. It has to. I mean, I don't think they're. Me and Kev talked about this last week a bit. I don't think we're out of third gear. To be honest about it, I think you're just starting to see the patterns. I think for me, if you look at the start of the season, I've said this a couple of times as well, it's been get used to the style of play and the passing patterns, but in a slow tempo till you get used to it, so it's controlled. But then the more used to it you get, the faster the tempo gets, the more you build it up. And I think you made a really good point, Danny, as well. If you go back to when Bielsa's Leeds were in their absolute best flow, players were passing the ball into spaces without even looking because they knew a player would just be arriving there any minute. It's been a while since we've seen that, but I think the Bristol City game, and it's a big contrast from the QPR game where Leeds were playing against 10 men and holding the ball up in the corner flag at home for the last 8 minutes. You're going, what are we doing here? Like, this is Leeds United, and we're trying to waste time in the corner flag against less players for a team that's 21st in the table. And then you look at the following week and you're like, much smoother, much crisper, the passing's better, players are trusting each other an awful lot more, balls have been played into spaces now, assuming someone's going to arrive in there. And the biggest one is the ball across the box, but I know everyone is saying it, but I agree with it. At some point, every single one of those chances in one game is going to go in, and we're going to absolutely smash somebody. It's going to happen. You might take those just for Christmas to get us that full flow, but I think once the turn of the year happens, I think we'll see Leeds in their absolute full flow in the 4th and 5th year. But it's starting to become a more enjoyable group of players to watch. It's starting to become a team that I enjoy watching again and not have to look at my fingers. Even when we did have the Rutter miss, I kind of just sat there in absolute stunned silence with my hands in my head. I didn't just see that. Like, that hasn't happened. It couldn't have happened. But then you knew a few minutes later, here we are again putting 15, 20 passes together on the edge of the box, and you're like, oh, we're going to cut these open. Eventually it's going to happen. And my biggest fear has been this year with Leeds, as it was last year, was can we break down a low block? And then you've seen it against Bristol City was probably the best example of us just being really, really patient, keeping the ball moving, and then break them then when we can. And it could have been, we said again, under Bielsa's time, how many times did we say that's a 1-0 hammering or 2-0 hammering? Because just dominated the game against Bristol City was a 2-1 hammering, because I just thought we dominated the ball so much, created so many chances. It was fluid, it was fun, it was enjoyable. Rutter looked like he was having an absolute ball out there. It's been great. It's been a great compromise of structure and flair in equal measure. You've got the organised back line, the pretty boy Strauch and the battered boy Roden beside him. And then you went to the midfield and you've got Ampadu and Kamara just keep everything tight and keep it clean. And then you move out slightly wider into the number 10 and 9 positions and you've got tons of flair and tons of talent. It's a nice mix to have both of them in the team at the same time. But yeah, I think we're only starting to see the beginning of what's going to be a cracking side.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you just said, mate. It's especially, I think you've said it on previous podcasts as well, where this is a team where we were all starting to fall in love, and
just starting to.
It's like we're like a scared deer at the minute, and Leeds United is like, come here, and we're all like trying to,
maybe no.
I literally have a heart on my sleeve.
Bambi.
And Dandy.
I've trusted too much before. I can't do it again. Maybe I can.
I've said it before. It's just all the psychological trauma from Leeds United. It's so repressed. It comes out in other forms. In mine, it's hair loss. But Kev, Yeah, but you pass it off though, Joe. You look good looking with it. I just look like
I
a
don't wear a
medieval
hat as well as
peasant.
you, Danny. That's the problem.
Well, it's hats or start being a squire for a night because I look like a medieval peasant at the minute. Kev, have you fallen already for Farker?
Oh, I don't want to jinx myself, and I don't want to let anybody know that my heart is being taken by a large German man. But yeah, he's really winning me over, really much. He's just so likable. Like everything what he does around the club is just really likable. And his 13-minute rant about strikers as well. I just sat there like that. You know that meme where that man that goes in on his face and he goes, "That was me." After that, honestly, it
Robert
was
Redford?
just I don't know.
The two of you looking back and forth, kind of glancing.
Yeah, it was absolute class. I'm starting to like football again with him being around. Last year was horrible, so yeah, I like
For
him.
me,
I think he's going to do great with us as well. And if he gets backed again, if touch words, yeah, I really like the bloke. I think he could be here for a while.
Yeah, with that rant with me, it's like I don't know where it came from, but I heard the Beatles singing. I just James, in fact, we trust. What?
Definitely.
Right, okay.
Mate. Yeah, definitely. I think that what I like about us now, when we've lost games, it doesn't feel like it's like, oh, we've been found out. It's more of a thing like we'll learn from it, and the next game we'll put the things that went wrong right. I think he's really good at like identifying that mistakes and where we can improve. So I'm definitely a Farker fan.
Fark fan. Did we just coin a phrase again? The amount of things, Joe, we coin on this podcast is unbelievable.
You claim
A pirouette.
Yep.
Knobcast, which out of context sounds like it should be on OnlyFans. But
I've seen a few of them.
Moving
That weren't
on.
on OnlyFans.
I'm going to create one and call it Only Dan's, but it didn't quite take off.
Only Daniels can watch it. That's it.
Only Dan,
that's it, yeah.
That's the downside to that. Welcome to Not Another Leeds podcast, everyone, where we chat absolute shite. But like 2 wins on the bounce now, Joe. That's great to go into the international break, isn't it?
Especially after Southampton loss. Yeah. They needed to bounce back from that. They needed to show a bit more than they did in that game. Kev said last week, didn't you, Kev? The breaks come at the wrong time. I think it might be a good time. We've gone into it in a positive way. There's not a massive amount of players gone off on international duty from the first team. There's quite a few of them sticking around this time. So I think he gets a chance to work with them in a positive mindset, in a good form, a good state of mind anyway, and for a couple of weeks to work on some bits and pieces. And I think, you know, what stayed there. I mean, Ampadu's gone off, and Kamara's gone off, but Gruev is still there, and he needs to work on some stuff, you know. So he gets a bit of alone time with them, which would be great. So I don't think the international break's coming at a bad time. I think we'll, you know, if you look at each international break, we've kind of bounced out of each one of them a little bit better than we went into the previous one. So, yeah, I think we're in a good spot. I think coming out of this international break, I'd expect to see us hit the ground running again. It's a massive game to come out of the international break with as well. You're going straight into Norwich, which for a lot of reasons is a big game for Daniel Farke, for us in terms of challenging. They're going to be up there around the edges of it as well. So yeah, it's going to be Sam Byron going back to his old club as well. So there's a bit about that game. So they need to make sure they use the next 2 weeks correctly and in the right way to try and make sure to get the best of it. But I look right now. You've already said it. Trust the man. What's the word? Impeccably trust.
Impeccably.
Daniel Farke, I completely trust the guy. Yeah, impeccably is when you've got a guitar, isn't it? It's a small thing.
At least it's not irrationally like some of our older managers that we trusted. That's way better to impeccably like them.
Unbelievable trust.
Unbelievable trust.
Unbelievable trust. James. Unbelievable.
Unbelievably.
Nice. Like that. So you mentioned Gruev there. He's going to have to work on his substitution appearances. Apparently, Farke just puts him behind the line and says, "Go on," and he just practices running back and forth because that's all he's doing at the minute, isn't it? He can't get on the pitch. But like Kev,
No.
it's only a good thing that Gruev can't get in that midfield.
if he can't get in, we've just spent £4 or £5 million on him, means everybody else is doing something right. I mean, he is a bit of a good luck charm, and obviously I've mentioned this before that he's got a 100% winning record for Leeds. Gruev has every time he's been on the pitch. He did show some steel when he come on against Bristol City as well. He made a really, really good, really unbelievable tackle. He made an unbelievable tackle. I think he made 2 actually. Some really, really good. Obviously, some blocks and that. He looks good. I don't mind him, but if people get kept out of the team because we're playing so well, I don't mind that. I mean, I even think Nonto's going to have a bit of trouble getting back in the team when he comes back, and that's one of the headache that any manager would love to have, especially at this level. That Willie Nonto might not get back in this team because we've got this absolute Welsh wizard who's top of every chart. It's just mental. Yeah, brilliant.
2 more assists in the international break as well. Came off the bench, gets two more assists. Effective.
He's just 6 assists.
Effective.
6 assists across the last couple of games. 2 in the international. He came on at 15 minutes and got two assists. And I put a tweet out, and it was just like, we're going to stop the haters. You know what I mean? And I loved it. I've this season, Dan James for me is well more rounded than he has been. He's the Welsh Sonic. He's not made out of 90-degree angles. I think his game is a lot more well-rounded, as I said, and I think that he does enjoy his time at Leeds, even though he does get some stick, doesn't he, James?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he never smiles either.
Well, he does. It does when he's running, because he's running that fast.
Yeah. Goes the opposite way there. It goes down. It's miserable all the time. But yeah,
he has this face that looks constantly unimpressed with everything.
Yeah.
Not unimpressed, unfazed. It's like so what?
It's that Napoleon syndrome, isn't it? Because he's really small. It's just like that, moving down the wing. Can't change his face. Well, it's just brilliant.
That's why he's so small, because the amount of times his legs hit the floor and that fast, his knees are rolled away and they grow back in 24 hours. That's why he's so small. He just
the only thing I worry about Dan James is that we're saying how good he's become. Or is it more likely that he might have found his level? Maybe.
You know what? I don't even
closer
think
to the ground.
I don't even think he's been that good though. Like this is the thing about him.
No.
I don't think he's been brilliant in games. I think there's games he's really struggled in. There's games he's been very good. But and again, I think we use the same word. What he has been is bloody effective. Like when he has gotten to positions, like the amount of assists he's clocking up, and they got a goal against the weekend. Jack Harrison for me has always been guilty of this. Like the amount of people last season who just love Jack Harrison. Whatever he does, they love. And there was people, and I was in this bracket, who were like really critical of the guy because you have so much talent, you just don't use it often enough.
Yeah.
But then you looked at his numbers at the end of the season, you're like, yeah, but he's effective though, isn't he? He racks up the assists, he racks up goals. Does he have to be brilliant in every single game as long as he's being effective in the right areas? And Dan James for me this year has just been a player that's popped up being effective at big moments. But there's games, there's going to be teams that we play this year that just won't suit Dan James, and that's a big challenge for Farkas to figure out when not to play him and when to bring him off the bench, and then what games he can start him. Like I think if you're playing against any of the top 3 sides, I think you could start him because they'll come out and they'll play against you, and he can get in behind with his pace. But then when you go to the bottom end of the table, they're all going to sit in a low block, and it's probably somebody else you need, not Dan James, because there's not going to be space to run into. Yeah, far more skillful James. Yeah,
your Nontos, your Somervilles will break down defenses, because I think Nontos are best at breaking down and getting in behind that have any of the players that we've got. But yeah, Dan James is going to be brilliant against Ipswich, Norwich next week. All those sort of teams that actually want to try and beat us at football, which they probably won't be able to because Dan James has just got his head down and running at the speed of light at them.
Let's not forget
Spence
as well.
Did you ever see the Mighty Ducks? Did you ever see the film The Mighty Ducks?
Flying V?
Yes.
The Flying V.
There was a Mexican kid in the second one who was a speed skater trying to turn into a hockey player.
Yes.
And his biggest problem is he can't stop. So he's really good at running. Like, this guy looks brilliant. And then they get to the end, he falls over, and they're like, he can't stop.
That's
Dan
exactly
James. What Dan James is.
I was just about
get out of my
that.
brain, Ger.
I was just about
get out of my head.
He used to use defenders as his way to stop in the Premier League, didn't he?
Yeah,
just run, and then he'd have to just hit the defender to stop because he couldn't stop himself. And smash into him all the time.
I've borrowed the tactic to. This is how we defeat the low block. Everyone gets into the flying V. Amplitude runs into the middle. Flying V. And then the best dribbler, whoever, in the middle with the ball, Rutter. Everyone else just crashes.
Cooper.
Millier, fuck it, why not? And then you just crash through just crash through, and then we're through on goal. It'll work every time.
Isn't that how England got to the final of the World Cup? Where it was that just basically the train that used to run from corners. That's how England was basically the flying V, weren't it? And everyone was just running off, and then everybody was getting the space. Well, they caught onto that though, when we got to the final, there, didn't they?
We take something that's worked in the past. No other team's done it since. That's why England haven't won the World Cup in a million years, or whatever it is, since '66. But like, it's if we start doing it every week.
Did you win the World Cup in '66? You never talked about that. You never mentioned that at all. Like, did you win it?
It was a sunny day.
Why don't you talk about when
1966.
Ireland won it?
Pull up a sandbag, boys and girls. It's story time.
Yes.
Fair enough.
I'll listen. I'll listen. Mate. I'll listen.
No, let's leave it there, right?
I don't give a shit about England anyway. I hate internationals.
I'm the
Yeah,
same.
it's YAWN,
I'm being
innit? Yeah.
forced to watch Ireland playing, and I'm not happy about it.
Only tournament
I feel like
time
I've
I can
been-
get involved. Oh, what am I on about? I'm going to the game on Tuesday. I know with my missus.
Go and do
Taking her to a first international match. I'm going to England, Italy on Tuesday. Actually, yeah. I love internationals, me. Oh,
You've got a good team.
yeah.
I'm only interested
great
when Leeds
manager,
plays,
but a
you
good
know.
team.
Yeah.
Full of Irish players.
You've some of the best
Are
Irish
you,
players
Jim?
playing for England. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
There's that picture
Get
of
your eyes off
Bellingham.
Ferguson. You're not
Yeah.
getting them.
There's that picture of Bellingham, Grealish. Obviously, Bellingham wearing an Ireland kit, isn't there, out there somewhere? And then obviously
Pat
Grealish
Bamford.
and Rice. Yeah,
Declan Rice and Jack Grealish
Good
all
Bamford,
represented
go on.
Ireland
Good
all the
Bamford,
way
yeah.
up through youth level.
Bamford could
all
play
the way.
for you. You
Yeah,
might score
Bamford
for you. But you play for you.
I think
Yeah.
then you took that one away from us. Then you gave him one cap, and now we don't want him. You know,
Yeah.
you have him now. He's tainted. We don't want him
He
anymore.
played
Won't even
against
wear
I was
that
gonna say,
hat either.
It's
He
the
won't even wear
poison
the hat.
chalice.
he played against the mighty Andorra, didn't he? Yeah,
Oh yeah, where they had like 10 players
brought
on the
off.
line.
He got brought off.
yeah. He
I
got
think he
brought
hit the
off.
top tier to
Yeah,
stand, didn't he, with the ball?
Yeah,
One
yeah.
cap and he
shot.
got brought off from it.
So
What a shame.
let's go through the goal. Let's get back on track. Let me just rein
Yes.
everyone back in without punching my mic.
Get off me.
God, this podcast is just chaos, you know. So the best thing I like is that the striker. What's our striker called? Piro. That's
only
it. That's
Dan's.
the one.
Sorry.
Why is in this stuff? So he has a shot. Keeper deflects it out, and then what I like, who's fastly becoming one of my favourite players, Glenn Kamara, pressures, and I think the defender's trying to maybe look for a foul, but leaves the ball, and then Rutter gets onto it, crosses it over, and then lo and behold, Dan James is there to put his 50 pence foot on it, and it goes in the net. We're 1-0 up.
That was a
James,
cross.
yeah.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on it? Good goal or?
It was. It looked sloppy a little bit. I think did it come off Somerville's heel or something? Sort of foul to James.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
Yeah. So
he got
but
the assist, didn't he?
he meant it. He meant that. Definitely meant that.
Oh, was it?
but James,
Yeah.
But James didn't. James was passing it back to him. It just went in. Nah, it was. He put it away. Put it away. Fair play.
That's all that matters, isn't it? Don't matter if it
Yeah.
comes off your bollock or your bumhole. Your bumhole. Why would you have it out? But you know, it's what is in that coffee? Honestly,
Oh no, man! What are you doing?
I think someone's crushed me a pill.
I told you.
Sorry,
you better
everyone.
Stay away from the
Everyone
free
that's watching,
peaks.
I do apologise. Everyone that's listening, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm doing this to your ears. Your ears.
Shoot your bum, man.
So I'm just nervous because Ger's on. I'm nervous. You know, it's Leeds rightly. But
Yes.
yeah, so Kev,
It's-
that's what we want to see, in it, like from especially Kamara.
What, scoring goals, passes?
No.
No.
Pressures,
Pressure.
mate. Pressures.
Yeah, pressures. I like Glenn Kamara. I know, Joe, you've took some abuse from some guy because you
I've had
thought,
a bit of stick.
yeah, yeah, because you said Glenn Kamara's not world class.
It's not what I said either.
Yeah,
It's not what I said. The
What
bloke
did you say?
retweeted what I said and then misquoted it. Like it's
Yeah.
literally right there. I said he was an average midfielder
That's why he's playing the
because
championship.
he's playing championship football. Because you're,
Yeah.
but apparently he then took that tweet, retweeted it, and said, "Ger said he's not a very good footballer." I was like, that's actually just look up one tweet. That's not what it says.
That's how it translates though in his language. And
I can't believe you're
Yeah,
abusing
well, I was-
Leeds United players.
What I was trying to say on Twitter, which I should have known better, you know, how to start an argument on Twitter, express your opinion, and wait.
no.
That's all
Yes.
you've got to do.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? All I was trying to say was, I have friends that are, this is kind of sound weird for an Irish person as well, but I've got some friends in Scotland who happen to be Rangers fans, and I was talking to them about him, and they all said the same thing about him. When he's interested, he's very, very good. But when he's not
Yeah.
interested, he's very, very average. And if you looked at what he'd done in the Scottish Premier League, finishing Like, I mean, you're playing for a team that's expected to win titles and you hadn't won them. Bar
Yeah.
one. And then you were looking at his last 12 months in a Rangers shirt and he didn't play a huge amount. He wasn't overly involved. And then you're looking being linked with Leeds and you're thinking, you're coming to play in the championship. You know, if you're going to rank players in brackets, you've got, you know, crap, poor, average, very good, world class. And the point, someone else meant, I said, well, he's not Xavi and he's not Iniesta and he's not, you know, Ronaldinho. So they're like, well, the bar is slightly different. Like, yeah, it is. But he is playing championship football, you know, and he's only played 3 games so far. He has been excellent, though, in 2 of the 3 games, you know, but he wasn't outstanding against Southampton. It's going to take a while to see the best from him. I think he's a very good player at this level, but I think if you were to put him in a bracket of midfielders in the country, he falls into the average midfielder bracket because his history right now hasn't shown a huge amount outside of what he did in Europe. He was very, very good in Europe for Rangers, but like I wasn't criticizing the guy. I wasn't saying he was a crap player. I wasn't unhappy we were signing him. I was just kind of saying in comparative to the level that you're at, he's an average midfielder, but he's been really, really good for Leeds. And I thought, especially against Bristol City, as the game went on against Bristol City, he got better and better and better and better. You look at him in the first 5-10 minutes, he's not really in the game. He's kind of out of position a few times. But then by the time midway through the second half comes in, he's in the middle of everything, breaking it down and passing. And the drop of the shoulder for the goal, to the ball, that he took 2 players out of the game with that one little move without touching the ball. And that was excellent. So I do like Glenn Kamara. I genuinely really do like Glenn Kamara.
No, you
and
do you though, do you?
I said I got annoyed past most out in the first game of the season as well, and I went, he's not a very good defender.
You would not give him your last Rolo.
I know, right?
There you go. There you go. Got yourself out to prove it. But yeah, Glenn Kamara, he's good. He's great for this level, and he's been great for us. Yeah. Is he a Premiership midfielder? We won't know until he plays in the Premiership. But I agree. I agree with everything that Ger said. He didn't have a very good season last year, and he has come down here with something to prove, and I think he's showing that now. And the way he moves about the pitch is quite graceful. I like him. He's good at passing, and yeah, just echo what you guys said. It's really, really good. He's going to be a great signing for us. Yeah.
My favourite thing about Glenn Kamara is how quick he can adjust his feet, and how we can he's like a little twinkle toes, like Ger said, with the shoulder. He's fast becoming one of my favourite
body parts. It's body parts, isn't it? Shoulders and feet.
Simple biology, mate. You know what I mean? Let's talk about Ampadu then. He's got 97. He's got speak English, Daniel. He's got 97 ball recoveries. Only Bielik has more with 100. And it's just getting apart by the Southampton game. Who even then he wasn't particularly bad. He was just there, but.
Yeah, not involved.
We say it every week. What a signing! We should rename this Ampadu podcast because that's what we talk about, isn't it? You know what I mean, Fred? James, Fred. I read your bloody name.
I think it's quite good to read that. There's only one more player that has more ball recoveries than him, considering how advanced Ampadu gets for this team as well. Because a lot of them ball recoveries going to be winning high up, just outside their 18-yard box or just inside their half. Those stats are phenomenal. Because I know that Bielik is quite a deep line player, but then Ampadu just wins the ball everywhere. And you for 7 mil, shit, that's
bargain.
Worth its weight in gold.
Yeah,
it's mental.
Plus he might not need to do as many recoveries as the other player.
Yeah,
playing in the Leeds team.
Yeah, you got to think about how much possession we have. How much possession we have, and he's made 97 ball recoveries
as well. Yeah,
yeah, that's crazy. The crazy stats that is.
So that's you got to take that into account as well.
That's James, brilliant. would you keep? Obviously, we've got to like Archie Gray. We've got to obviously police his minutes, but if you were to pick, after the 2-week international, everyone's rested and well, caught up. Do you start Kamara next to Ampadu?
I think he got to, yeah, because they were good together, and I think they. It's going to sound really weird, but the fact that he's got the number 8 shirt tells me that he's going to play in the middle with Ampadu. I don't know why. It's a bit old-fashioned, isn't it? But yeah, I think he's going to be the starting midfielder with Ampadu going forward.
Yeah. Poveda got given the number 7 when he joined the club, though, Jones.
Yeah, but who was in charge?
Bielsa.
And
but in charge.
Oh, also, yeah.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
We'll come on to that. We'll touch on that in a little bit. So Rutter he's created 10 big chances, and it's the best in the top 4 leagues. How about them apples, Ger? player of the season potential.
So far, yeah. Get a couple more goals, add that to his game, because he is playing the number 9 position. We have been told that he's not the 10, he's the 9. So he needs to start scoring a couple more goals. But the positive thing is he's getting himself in positions where he can score goals. He might be missing them at the moment, but he's there. He's there in the right areas. That's going to improve as well. One thing I like about Rudder as well is not just the creative stuff and the fancy stuff that he does around the edge of the box. The amount of times this year I've seen him chasing a fullback up the line, all the way to our end line, or chasing a winger to double up and winning balls back in our corner flag, when you'd never see an advanced number 9 doing that kind of. But he has the fitness and he has the legs and he knows he can do it. Like, what is he 21, 20? He's still essentially made out of plastic, so he can bend and run all day and not get broken. So let him run. But he's been really, really good. He gets bums off seats. He gets smiles on faces. He's doing all the stuff we want to see. And I think Lockie is the one that says it more often than anybody else. I haven't smiled at a player that much since Rafinha. He has been in with Leeds. You're seeing some genuine talent there. And long may it continue. Let's hope we Furbo for you. Yeah. That one game against Southampton. It was outstanding.
He makes me laugh all the time. Furbo does.
Furbo's been invited to the medical Christmas do. Honestly, he'd be out with medical staff at Christmas. Furbo, him and Bamford. I swear to God, he's got his own bench.
I think he must have I think they have a loyalty card for the medical room, so you get a stamp every time you go in. He's looking for a 6th coffee free, so he's waiting on that last one. So
on that last one, he gets a free knee surgery.
He's out with a medical team for their Christmas party. He's going out for dinner with them. That's where
apparently the medical team are recruiting the medical team is getting an increase. They're recruiting more people for it. I think they're just getting a medical team just for Firpo on his own, so the rest can focus on the rest of the team.
I think they're just trying to keep him alive just for spares for other players at this point. It's just
he's a great DJ as well.
Frank and Firpo.
Frank
in a cryo chamber in Ellen Road somewhere, just behind glass, just like this.
He's got this massive mustache now.
Can you imagine the media for that? Together we can rebuild him.
It's next year's ad campaign for the short.
Yeah.
It's next year's short campaign when he's finally fit.
Yeah. Bloody hell. So obviously the goal, the other side to Kamara is that he got a bit lazy and ball watched, and then Kai Naismith headed in that goal, which then he celebrated in front of the fans, acting like he just scored a 30-yard worldie, which I'm not a fan of. But I suppose that's what a lapse in judgment can do in this league. James, we all know that the Championship is unforgiving. You just can't afford to take your eye off your player, because Naismith, didn't he? He towered over Kamara.
Yeah, it's a bit. I got a bit confused by how it went in at first. I thought the player coming from behind sort of headed it in, but he come from like in front and sort of jumped, didn't he? And yeah, we're prone to that, aren't we? Old Leeds defenders just switching off in the box, but it's getting less and less, which is good, and hopefully we can cut that garbage out and stop letting people who look like they're in the Lost Boys score goals.
Which Lost Boys? Peter Pan's or the movie Lost Boys?
The good one.
The vampires.
Okay.
People yeah. Death by stereo. That's what he looked like when he was screaming when he was scoring.
Oh my God.
Little cultural reference. So, and then obviously going on to Perot's goal, where Kamara, a nice little bit of football again, plays it in, and Perot just takes that touch and then megs the defender and then puts it into the slowest 22-yard goal you'd ever see. Ger, good striking or poor goalkeeping in Europe?
I don't think the keeper sees it. I don't think the keeper sees it until it comes through the player's legs. I don't think you saw that ball even leave Pirro's foot, and that's why he was so slow. But it's great vision by Pirro to find that corner. Like, it's right in the corner. He hasn't smashed it, because if he smashes it, the ball goes up and it hits the defender. He's pinpointed that. So deadly accurate, I would say, deadly accurate. And keeper didn't have any chance on that. But it's a lovely finish. Lovely finish.
It's quite stereotypical of Perot, because when I found out he would come into Leeds with a medical, when I was scouring the M1, to protect his car, to make sure he gets to Thorpe Arch, I watched his goals for Swansea, on the old YouTube, and he just seemed to just be in the right place at the right time, or he just scores goals like that, doesn't he? And Kev, I mean, when you saw it go in, I mean, Was the shirt off? Were you in the garden with marmalade over your nips? Or?
There was something. It was Marmite this time, by the way. I just want to let you all know that. But no, when it went in, I could. It's just weird because it was just going through looked like it was going through treacle through loads of players. But it was a great finish. You can see what he wanted to do. And you mentioned he like scores weird goals. He doesn't. He's there, isn't he? He's like an old school striker. He's like Lee Chapman in a way, except he scores from outside the box. Just always in the right place at the right time. Great. It's nice to have someone like that, someone who scores goals. And then we're all kicking off that he's playing in a 10, but he's got 5 goals in 8 games. And that's amazing. We always.
And the number 9 hasn't.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's just weird being Leeds. Yeah, Rutter could have had more goals than he's got as well. It's just when it all clicks, it's just going to be crazy. I'd like to see Rutter get to 10, but I've got a feeling Peru could get to 20 league goals this year. I'd like to see it. How many? 36 left? 35 games? 34?
34, I think. Is it played 11?
11 in 46 games. So, 35.
So, that's enough for him to get 15 goals, isn't it?
Who needs maths, anyway? You know.
All right.
What is maths? What is it really? It's just numbers.
It's just an idea. Just an idea.
You don't need maths in MAFS. You don't need maths in that.
Maths.
So we obviously then we do see the game out, and it's another 3 points in the bag, and it's good to go into this international break with confidence held high, and so as a season review, just quickly, 11 games in, what's your thoughts on the season so far, mate?
Considering where we started, considering how the summer started with the takeover and with 14 players trying to get out of the club rapidly, and then considering we started the season with 3 games and no wins, I think to be joint 4th or level 4th, just off goal difference, only a point behind. I think it's a point behind 3rd and maybe 9 points behind 2nd. I think we're in a really good spot. I think we're hitting form at the right time. We're not losing games anymore. Outside of the blip that was Southampton. It's just been nice seeing Farke's system take shape over the games. And you can see it every game. There's improvements on everything, even our set pieces. We're scoring from corners. And we weren't really conceding from them until Kamara went to sleep. But outside of that, I think it's been a really, really strong start to the season. I think the players are still finding their feet. It's essentially a brand new team, and that's going to take time. But all of that considered, to be in the playoffs, to be in with a shit with automatic promotion at this point is a huge credit to the manager and the players that he's brought in. He's brought in some very, and this is like Nick Hammond, Kinnear, I know doesn't get a lot of credit, and probably rightly so in some situations, but Kinnear, Greta Steinson as well, and that recruitment team they put in behind there had done an excellent job this year. Not only getting players that would suit Farke, but getting them for a reasonable amount of money as well, not overpaying. I mean, if you're in the Premier League and you're paying $5 million for a midfielder, you'd be like, that's a free hit. Like if it doesn't go well, it's $5 million. It's not a big deal, And these players are becoming the absolute keystone of this team. So I think Farke's doing an amazing job putting them together on the pitch. I think the style is getting better. I think the speed is getting better. I think they're starting to understand each other and trust each other an awful lot more. Trust is a big word with it as well. Players look like they trust Farke. They're starting to play like they trust each other. So I think we're in a really positive position considering where we started the season. I know we'd love to be top of the league, but I think Leicester have set the record for the fastest start in championship history. I think it's the first team to get to 27 points in 11 games. Is Leicester. I think Sheffield United 6 years ago when they got promoted last time was our second in that list. But take that out of the equation altogether. If Ipswich and Leicester hadn't started on the speed they were, Leeds would be right in the mix. And I think we still will be well in the mix come the end of this. I think they will drop points. They will lose games. And I think Leeds will be in coming to form at the right times of the season.
Yeah, I agree. I think we will peak at the right time, like maybe just after Christmas once we've got a good run of games in. James, what's been your favourite moment of the season so far under this Farke system?
My favourite moment?
Yeah, my favourite moment.
Moment, mate. Probably Farke's touch, to be fair. That was fucking amazing.
That was wicked,
yeah.
Just
that's
class. Fair. Absolute class. But go on.
I was going to say, was it the Leeds social media team that put the comment out when he took that ball down? The headline was just filth. That was it.
Yes.
It was.
Good old Wilson.
I think we abused that clip. We abused that clip ourselves a few times, didn't we? As well, made some little stuff out of it for ourselves. It was really good. Yeah, it was brilliant.
I was going to superimpose me doing the cannonball and Farker bringing me down, but it just you know, like just
you wouldn't be able to
bringing me
control
down on
you,
his
Dan.
foot. No one can handle me, son.
To be fair, Daniel Farker probably watches only Dan's as well. He's a
Yeah, it
Dan, isn't
does.
he?
Yeah,
Is it Dan?
yeah.
I've actually, he just texted me
Dan
out,
James,
actually.
fuck it up.
Dan James
don't
is in, yeah.
mention-
Premium access level. There we go.
Yeah. Just text me.
He needs
hey,
a
like,
stool
just
though. He needs a stool to be in to watch.
Don't
The
mention
best-
only
The
dance.
best bit of that takedown, there's a bloke in a red jacket behind the dugout
Yeah.
who, and if you watch the fourth official, like the fourth official gives him a little cheeky smile when he sees Farker doing it. Farker looks at him, and then the lads behind this little group just get off their chairs. And go
Yeah,
absolutely nuts.
that's one of the best.
One
bits,
guy in
yeah.
a red shirt just going like that
Yeah.
behind him,
Yeah.
lost his mind with it. It's like that's
Yeah.
brilliant.
Was
And then he
class.
does Farker the dugout as well to go. Look, see what I can do. Your
Even
turn.
the opposition players were like nudging, like, oh, bloody hell, you see that? That'd be
Alright.
great. That,
He
wouldn't
could
it?
play for us. Get him on.
Yeah, get him. Yeah, get Farker in a kit. Yeah, that's great. Kev, what about you, mate? What's like your favourites of the season so far?
My favorite moment.
No, fit player.
I mean, it would have been Ampadu, but he's just plays at that level every games. But I think you all know who I'm going to pick already. I'm going to go with Jorginho Rutter, man.
Yeah,
I'm going to go with Jorginho Rutter. He just everything he does. It's like that when he scored his first goal against Ipswich. The way everybody ran to him and loved him for it. That put a massive smile on my face. So yeah, I mean, just watching Jorginho Rutter smile and play football, everything about him. This is my moment and player of the season so far, Daniel.
this is my moment.
This is
My
my
perfect-
player.
you should,
God's
but on a
sake.
serious note, though, Kev, you should really stop harassing him. It's not healthy. So we mentioned Rads just a moment ago. Joe, you know about this, don't you? Like, the company's house, Rads is no longer in charge of the Ellen Road.
Yes.
Ding dong, the witch is dead.
Or
Rest of
the
it.
club, because there's two. There was the company's house one that came out at the start of the week, which everyone got a bit nervous about because it still said that his company owned Elland Road, and then Kinnear clarified when he was meeting the supporters advisory board that it'll be reflected in next year's one because they're a year behind. But also he said there's an indication on that it is transferring across to the 49ers once everything was signed and sealed, which has been done. And then the big one was yesterday evening one. There was a second document released from Company's House that showed Brad Rosani and the other two lads being removed from Leeds as directors completely. My favorite term, termination of application, was gone, and then the adding of Rudy Klein Thomas instead as the director. So I was like, that's him. He's gone. His name has been removed from everything. He's off all the different documents. And then Kinnear also said that the next few weeks we'll start seeing some major changes around Ellen Road and Thorpe Arch as well in terms of investment and improvements. So, they couldn't touch anything till he was gone, and then he's gone. So, yeah.
Here we
thank
go.
God.
Here we fast.
That's what we like to go. And also in the news this week, there was a bit of news about Aronson coming back if we're promoted.
That's
Yeah, I
all
think
of them,
you-
though.
Yeah,
There's a thing
I
on
think-
this as well. That those loan clauses will still be active if we don't get promoted.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
I saw that on your video earlier. I was thinking, oh,
He'll
thinking
get lost
what?
in the wind anyway.
yeah. So basically, if we don't go up, every player that's out on loan can go out on loan
Can
again.
stay on loan.
And then we
stay
don't
on
get
loan.
no fees for them. Unless is that? I thought if we don't go up, Sinistera gets sold for 25 million or something like that. But maybe that's not
I think the
true now.
club will just get rid of him after what he did. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Comes
see
at
Kinnear.
sport time as well, isn't he?
yeah,
Right.
Did you,
Victor,
did you see
Victor
Kinnear's
Ora.
reaction to the square ball question on it when they were like,
yes.
"So is he on the
Yeah.
is he on the Christmas card list?" And he's like, "No."
No. Yeah.
Like, what did you do? What did you do?
These
I was
these
gonna- he won't come
clauses, these
I was
clauses
gonna-
are doing me. I didn't. Sorry,
Do it
Kev.
again.
That's
Do
what I
it
was
again,
going
go on.
to say. Obviously, because Joe, you mentioned something on your obviously your news earlier about that the only two that the club want back if we go up would be Aronson and Harrison. It's a strange one, isn't it? Because obviously there's this
Not
stuff with Harrison.
Christensen?
No, Harrison.
Oh, no.
Imagine that.
Yeah. So there's this thing with Jack Harrison coming out and saying that the fans appreciate him and stuff like that on a post. And I think I said this on yours, Joe. That's not a dig at any of our Leeds fans. I just want to put that out there. No, it's just him saying that Jack Harrison. If you've ever watched him in those videos with Rodrigo and that, he's a bit special. Okay, he's a bit stupid. Yeah. Jack Harrison. I don't think he means anything that he writes and stuff like that. He's just he's the
least media trained of all the. Remember the Newcastle quote that came up at the start of last year, and he answered it honestly. And like, Jesus, Jack, you don't answer those questions honestly. You just say, "Oh, I'm happy where I am. I'll see what happens." That's all you say. You walk away. But he was like, "Oh, I don't know if there's an offer there. We'll look at it."
Yeah, if you listen carefully, you can hear the PR team just shitting themselves.
Oh yeah, so stop giving Jack the microphone, lads. He doesn't. He will. He's Ron Burgundy. He will answer whatever he is being asked.
Yeah,
you know.
I'm Jack Harrison.
Yeah,
yeah. Personally, I think that quote, it was just like, oh yeah, it's just fans that appreciate it, not the ones abusing you every week. I think that's what he meant. But these bloody clauses, right? I've had enough of Victor Orta. He's winding me up. It makes me want to punch him so hard he flies out of his shoes. Do you know what I mean? And his shoes stay still. It's not now. Therapy later, Daniel. We'll do the therapy later. So what we'll do is we'll move on to this the next section, which is Show Me the Loanee. So we'll just have a brief overview of what the loanees are up to. So I just had a quick skim. Rocker, I think he's going on a permanent, isn't he, really?
He's still turning. He'll turn in a minute.
Do you know what I love about Ger's vibe?
You gotta do the head as well, though. You gotta do his head.
Do you know what I love about Ger's setup?
Pull your shorts up. Pull your shorts up.
Right.
Till you're wearing a pair of pants.
He's got lederhosen on under there. You can't see it. The bottom half of him is lederhosen. So I love about Ger's vibe is that it looks like he's about to deal out his plans of world domination, or he's got Austin Powers just lowering into laser sharks. Right, enough. So Mark Rocker, would we take him back? He's got 1 goal, 1 assist, and he's pretty much bossing it. No,
he's done.
So
he's gone.
That's a pass. Cock,
that could be permanent by Christmas as well. That could be permanent. And they want to stay as well.
Cock, I'm not calling you that. That's the player, Cock. Seems to be doing well at Frankfurt, and he's pretty much starting all the time. Is he the one that we pass?
He's gone anyway, and we won't even get a fee for him. Yeah,
it's free at the end of the year anyway.
It was the weirdest one. His is so weird because there's an option to buy at the end of his loan, but he's out of contract at the end of his loan, so he's a free agent. That was the weirdest one to put into it. It's like, oh, you can go on loan, but there's an option. Why? There's no
unless it's something really smart the board have done by letting him go on loan. We probably get a couple of million quid at the end of it. That's probably if it's the only.
Why not just have it now? I don't understand. Why not just give him the money now?
Just now and you can take off.
Yeah, unless that's too easy, James. This is Leeds United we're talking.
It could be FFP
though. Mystery. Well. Add a little bit of mystery to this.
I'd love to see what the visual looks like for Victor Orta's clauses and how he manages to connect them all together. I'd say it's just like a mental mind map of just, if this happens, then this over here gets activated, and then that goes over here, and then this happens. He's like that scratching the head going, what's happening?
All over his kids' faces and everything.
Yeah. It's like that It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia thing, isn't it? Where Charlie's going,
that's
what it's like.
Yeah, because maybe is Victor Orta just that meta and just above all as intelligence? It's
mental. Did you say? Yes, definitely mental.
Well, it is.
You know when someone's like saying something really intelligent here. If you're in a shop and they're buying something like a computer or something that's over your head, and they're giving you all the spec and jargon, and you just find yourself going, yeah. I'm convinced that the Philadelphia thing is Orta's master plan to qualify for European football, and Rads is standing by the door going, Yep, that looks great. And then 12 months later, we saw what happened.
But meanwhile, in his head, he's just a monkey with cymbals going. Yeah,
he's thinking about his kid making another kit.
The yellow penis kit. Yeah.
He tried to take credit for this year's kits as well.
He did, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the bloke went on the square ball. Yeah, the bloke went on the square ball today, saying that he was the one who designed the kits as well, weren't it? So that's good, mate.
So Aronson, the only player that's sponsored by ankle weights, he's not doing very well in Union Billing.
I've got
Start
something to
using
say about. I've got something to say about Brendan Aronson.
Yes,
I've got
yes,
something to
Kevin.
Oh,
say.
there we go.
Okay,
There we
okay. From what Joe said earlier on his video, I think
Sorry, Kev.
yeah.
Sorry, when you said okay, I thought you were going to break into a rap. Then sorry,
No, not at all.
Okay, sorry. Go
So
on.
I've got a theory of Aronson is that I think obviously the club want to keep him as well because American ownership, American player, marketing in America. I think that's why they would want to keep Brendan Aronson, and he's young, possible sell-on values. But I do think that he'd be the one that they want to keep mainly because of the marketing in America. Because we're American owned, yeah, for a corner flag, yeah. But I mean, if you don't think that an American owned team would want to have an American player in their squad, then you're mental. They definitely need something for marketing purpose for in America, especially where they're based and stuff like that. They bounce out.
Weston McKennie's not up to anything at the moment, is he? Give him a call.
Sponsored by Just Eat, isn't he?
Burger King.
No, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I think that's something that's actually quite real, and I'm normally right with everything on this podcast. Everything.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
yeah.
Facts
And modesty.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
No. But yeah, that's my take on it. But yeah, he's not having a good time. I think they just send him into the gym for a bit. He could end up being a good player though. He's Kev Sellotapes Magpies to his shed door.
What a comment that is, by the way. What a comment.
That's James's brother. That's James's brother. But yeah, that's James's brother.
So he knows.
Oh, Charlie, you legend.
Oh my god. Oh.
You know what?
I actually think
Kev,
Aronson a half decent player.
He is.
Well,
He is.
Yeah,
he is.
he's
Got good
He
feet.
needs to-
He's got good feet.
Yeah.
But we were saying about him like playing in the championship, it'd be amazing in there. But I think he'd break really quickly in the championship.
Battered, wouldn't he? He'd be battered in the championship. I mean, look at poor Willie Nantes out
Boot
injured
him
because
over
of
the
first game
stadium.
games. People just running around
Yeah.
kicking him, and now he's out. But Aronson would have been stood on, he'd been battered.
It'd
crying
look
his
like
eyes
a
out.
leopard. It'd be covered in bruises. Do you know what I mean? I just don't think they'd go to strike the ball and they'd end up kicking Aronson over the bar instead of the ball. It's just
You couldn't
Got the
bring him
figure
away
of a
to Millwall.
14-year-old
You just-
lesbian.
Oh, James. Oh.
Sorry.
anyway. It's been nice being a podcast for these past few weeks.
Yeah, thank you very
James
much.
has just cancelled.
We're cancelled us now. We're cancelled.
Yeah.
We're cancelled us now.
We'll have to start another, not
I was
another
gonna
Leeds podcast.
I was going to say you couldn't bring out Brendan Aronson away to Millwall, but I don't think I'd even bring Brendan Aronson away to Millwall as a fan. I'd be afraid he'd get hurt, let alone a player on the pitch.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Strong. He got a red card this year. You're like, really?
Oh yeah,
You got involved with something twice to get rid sent off.
But I've seen a few rumblings from the Union Berlin fans saying that he's not strong enough. He's not because he's been
Chairman
in.
said it.
Yeah. It's the same player.
When the chairman's saying it, bloody hell.
Chairman said that he needs to get more robust. He said.
Yeah. So he's been involved. He's not even started the past 3 games. He's been in back-to-back losses. Three losses. Yeah. Vober, another snake for me is this one because I was really relying on Vober this season. Sorry, snake, but he seems to be a permanent like Rocker as well. I just think because their chairman or their director of football came out and said he's a leader. He's a leader on the pitch, a warrior. He's not. He's an idiot.
He ran away when he got tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He'd have done really good, but I'm glad we got Rodon anyway. So, Vober, do one. Greenwood, he's doing really well. He's been involved in the past 4. They've not lost in 5 games at Borough. Yeah, 3 of the last 4.
No.
He's got 1 goal, and he rattled Sunderland fans because when he scored, you were like this to the Borough fans, and that did not sit well because he's a Sunderland boy, isn't he? So,
he is a fan. Sunderland fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a 1.5 million deal. What do you think of that, Kev? Is that?
I don't know. I mean, maybe there's a sell-on clause in there somewhere. Obviously, we hear things and things. I mean, I think it's worth at least 3 million. Myself, I'd say possible championship player, 3 million. Maybe there has to be a sell-on clause in there somewhere because they seem quite smart. They seem quite smart, the 49ers. And the Steinson and Hammond So there has to be a clause in there. There's no way there wouldn't be. I mean, he didn't quite recently signed a new deal as well. I think he's with us till 2026, 2027. So yeah, there's definitely going to be some sort of sell-on clauses and like bits in there too. It has to be.
He just
I
signed
remember
a
being really
deal.
excited. Yeah, sorry, go on.
The sell-on clause is 1.5 million. That is the sell-on clause.
Yeah.
But the same thing. People are giving out about it now because he scored a goal and got an assist in his last 2 games. But before that, I don't think there's any Leeds fan, if you went, well, if we can get exactly what we paid for him back, most fans would have gone, yeah, take it, fine. I like Sam Greenwood. I think he's a decent player. My partner thinks he's a fantastic little footballer. She's desperate to see him. She watched the documentary and she kind of was like, I really want to see that kid make it. I really like him.
Yeah.
And I think there's a football in there. He said it himself. He's a number 10. He's not a number 6. He's not a number 8. He's a number 10 or a striker. That's his positions. Borough are playing him in those positions. And in the 2 games he started for Borough, he got an assist and a goal. So, there's I think he was unlucky with injuries this year. I think if he hadn't got injured in pre-season, I think he actually might have got a crack at the number 10 position at the start of the season. But same with Cody Drama at right back. He got injured at the wrong time as well. Never got his crack at right back either. So they've been a little bit unlucky with that. But I think see how his season goes. It's 2 games, Borough are doing exactly what they did this time last year.
I was excited when he came through from Arsenal because a lot of Arsenal fans were like, why are we letting this guy go? And then we saw in the under-21s, he would just scoring free kicks for fun. And then it just didn't, it just didn't transition into the first team.
When he did come on in the first team, he got a couple of free kicks. And I think he won in one game and he missed another game and he hit the wall or something. And people were like, I thought this guy was good at free kicks. It's like, yeah, if he gets 6 or 7 in a match, he's good at free kicks. But if he gets 1, he's not got a 100% ratio from free kicks, like dead balls. You give him a couple in a game before. Like Beckham didn't even put every single free kick he took into the top corner. You missed a couple,
You should look at Ronaldo's. Well. You should look at Ronaldo's like free kicks to goals ratio. It's proper low. So I can understand where, obviously, with Sam Green, when it comes to free kicks and people kicking off because he hasn't scored only the one that he's taken. Yeah, it's not easy, those free kicks. So I think all of us have actually played football here as well, haven't we, as 4? And yeah, I could probably put them in every time, but not everyone else can. It's different. It's hard.
Remember, Kev's never wrong, everyone. So he must be telling the truth.
No, it's
about everything.
Everything. But yeah, he's good. He's good.
So,
and pigeons and sheds.
Another lad who's having a bad time is another lad who's having a really bad time is Perkins. He's only played 4 minutes for Oxford.
That's a shame.
The rest of alone, I can see him getting recalled.
Hasn't been in the last 4 squads at all. Not on the bench even. Dropped completely from the squad for the last 4 games.
I thought he was a really good player as well.
He's a really good player. Sorry, carry on, mate. We're supposed to start talking at the same time. We're all over the place today. Carry on, mate. Carry on.
Is it a drum set?
Is that you, James?
Yeah, it's me.
Of course it is.
Playing his drums in the background. So I'll fly quickly through this because I know that we're coming up to an hour, and I know that Kev and James have got the badminton lessons there. So got Llorente and Christensen over in Roma. Llorente is injured. He's out until mid-October now, and he's not having a good time, I've heard from Roma fans. The flaccid Viking Christensen has played 421 minutes, and he's got 7 game appearances. The old chess beater, he doesn't seem to be doing very well either, does he, Joe?
No, he's coming back apparently at the end of the season. There's no
not to Leeds, he's not.
It's been made already. Yeah. Well, he got called out by Jose. I know Jose likes those public dressing downs every now and then of a player, but he took Christensen and Llorente off at halftime, and then afterwards, when they lost the game, he said that he has told his chairman and the recruitment team that he is not at all happy with the recruitment this summer. You go, well, you've just taken these 2 lads off at halftime. I wonder who you're talking about. It's been really up and down from they left him out of the European squads after that, and he's improved apparently over the last couple of games. He's got a bit better, but he had a couple of decent games with Leeds, especially towards the end of the season. But the bulk of his games were poor. Llorente is doing exactly what he did at Leeds. He'd have a couple of games, might be good in one of them, then gets injured and is out for a couple of weeks, and then goes back in, gets injured, and he's out again. He's been injured 4 or 5 times at Rome in the last 2 seasons, been for lengthy periods. So, yeah, well, look, and Roma aren't going to give us any money. They had an option to buy Llorente last year, and they managed to get out of that and get him back on loan for free this year. So they'll find a way around it again. But I would say Christensen, from what they've said, is the plan. His agent said the plan was always to return to Leeds at the end of the season. But best of luck, pal.
Yeah, he ain't
We've
getting
got
that.
different plans.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they don't
yeah.
include him.
And it,
Any of them.
yeah. If he is, he'll be sat next to Firpo on Christmas do with medical staff, won't he? The thing, like, no wonder Mourinho's. It says a lot when Mourinho's collaborating with Lockie over them two. Do you know what I
Exactly.
mean? Right, moving on
Llorente
to
is like Llorente is a human version of a dog chasing his tail when I watch him play football. Absolute chaos.
100%.
moving on to
Exactly how I described
Sinistera. 3 apps, 18 minutes. Not even the squad versus Brentford.
Good.
I know he said
Don't
he saw
care.
himself.
Don't care.
Yeah,
You
don't
can-
care.
I know. Ger has got Sinistera's
Jeez.
face on the dartboard. I just know it. I just know it.
I've got his face on 5 dartboards.
There you go.
I've got all the darts out. I've got a lawn dart.
And he,
I've got a
and he
pole
throws
vault,
axes.
I just axes on a wall. There you go. Have that.
Just the front
Don't
of the
try-
app.
The dartboard's this big and the axe is this big.
Axes huge. So don't threaten to sue the club. Jesus Christ. Between him and Tyler
Yeah.
Adams, what? Like, come on. Like, that was. You do not come back from that. You just. There's no
for
way.
Bournemouth
I don't
as
care
well.
how
For
good you are.
Bournemouth. Jesus Christ.
For Bournemouth, and they're rock bottom of the table.
I'm glad about
That's
that.
worked out well, lads.
so
hasn't it?
funny.
How's the
Sorry for
hamstring,
the
Tyler?
Lewis Cup.
Like Tyler Adams is injured again.
At least 3 months
Honestly.
to be out for.
I'm good that we sold him and he's injured. I love that.
25 million. Thanks, Tyler. Made a profit
Yeah.
on him.
We did. That's good.
Yeah, it is, especially because Tyler Adams didn't he threaten to sue the club as well? Because I've heard through a source that he said, "Rip my contract up. I'm not coming back to Leeds. I don't want to come back to Leeds." Because he obviously at
He
that
didn't say it
point
in that language, though, did he?
no, he went, "Rip my contract up, man. I ain't coming back." That's what he said. Trust horses. So obviously he just been knocked back by Chelsea, doing the medical and stuff like that, and it's a good job he's gone on a permanent, because can you imagine him stepping out at Ellen Road in his pajamas that he wears all the time?
He won't. He will never step out unless he's on an
No.
opposite team.
It was like that kid at the end of Big, isn't he? When he's standing there with
Yeah.
Tom Hanks's clothes. That's what Tyler Adams looked like when he comes out in his new gear and his new swag and that little. Never mind.
Yeah.
I won't get fashion. I never.
I
Get
loved
fashion,
him
mate.
as well, though. Like I actually really liked him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the one player that every time someone went, "You guys have got an American bias," I'd go, "No," because I love Tyler Adams. I think he's great.
Yeah.
I think you're trying to sue the club. Like you,
Just an actor,
and
isn't he?
pretty much-
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just you fooled us
Yeah.
all, pal. Well done. You got us all
Yeah.
psyched up. You got off to Bournemouth, you did the exact same thing, and then your little weak hamstring went tweak, and then now that's you again. And then Sinistera goes, "I'll do what he did." That got him out,
Yeah.
didn't it? Yeah, let's just copy
Yeah.
what he did, and then he goes there as
Yeah.
well. So
What was so annoying as well, it was so late in the window, and I'm happy that Leeds turned around and said, "Well, you can't have him unless we have so and so." You know what I mean? We have Anthony, and by all means, Anthony looks like a really good player, doesn't he, Kev?
He does.
we asked for Anthony. Sorry.
Yeah, I think we've wanted him for ages, really. That's what Angus Kinnear said, that they wanted Jaden Anthony. I mean, obviously, we all know that he's not the player that Sinistera is. However, he can probably play 30 more matches in a season than Sinistera. So you probably get more output from Jaden Anthony over a 46-game season than you would Sinistera over a 30-game season. So, yeah, I'm really, really happy. He seems like a really nice lad as well. It looks like he gets head down and works. And he crosses quite well with his weak foot. I didn't even notice that. I know that about him. But yeah, I really like this guy. I think he's really, really good. I think he's going to be. Is he going to start every week? Probably not. But I think he's going to be a really, really good impact player. And I think Sinistera can do one now. I'm really, really happy with this. And hopefully we go up and then we get a really, really good fee for him. And then we just invest that money straight back in the squad. Because, if we do go up, there is going to be needed some improvements in the team. And I don't want Sinistera back in now. No chance. As much of a good player he is, yeah. There is no
Like
comeback
Jay
from that, not at all.
Like Jay's hit it on the head there. It's Leeds United suicide, if you will. And then lastly, Harrison scored quite a worldie, in my opinion. I thought
Yeah, it was a good goal.
on his left
Very
foot,
good
but
goal.
he's 2 apps, 1 goal, 1 assist. Do we see him coming back, Jay? Can you see him coming back from this loan?
Yeah, I can. He's one of the few, I think, that there's a certain portion of the fan base will probably let him away with it a little bit. The kind of question is, can you forgive a player that's gone out on loan. Now he didn't really push for the move, which is fine. It's the players that have pushed to get out that I never want to see back again. The other lads, you can't really argue about a clause in the contract that was there. Players are going to activate that when they can get a chance, you know. The other piece with Harrison as well is if Nanto can be forgiven for refusing to play and causing chaos for a couple of games, then I think someone like Jack Harrison will probably be forgiven eventually come back in. He might get a bit of stick early on, but I think a lot of people will get over it. Question is, though, do we want these players back, though? You know, because Jackie is hit and miss. He's very good at the start of the season. He's very good at the end of the season. And he goes missing for 4 months in the middle of the season when it gets a bit wet and a bit dirty. You know, he doesn't get his boots mucky. And he gets a lot of stick during those. Like I've said it a lot of times. Like last year, if you go through my streams last year, it's like, where's Jack Harrison? Why is he still on the pitch? Like, what's going on with him? You know, and then towards the end of the season, again, it's that effective thing, though. You look at his numbers, you're like, that's why he's there. But the question is for me, do you want these guys back at all? You know, or are we going to look at getting better versions of these? Because they've gone to clubs that are still scrapping down around the bottom of the table. And you'd hope going up, the 49ers have an idea in the head of, we're not getting involved in this mix again down here. We're going to make sure we're at least in the middle block. So therefore, you're going to want better players than what we had that came down. And, you know, all of those players brought us down. So do we want to put them back into the team?
No.
James, what's your thoughts on Jack Harrison?
I think he's a good player.
I'm interested.
Mate. He's a good player, but like he is inconsistent. Do I want him back now? I think we can do better next year. I think if we will go up, we'll go straight up. I think, and I think we'll buy better than Jack Harrison. One of the players we've got might be better than Jack Harrison. So like some of it, he might just turn into.
The thing is about Somerville is sometimes he can be lazy, like the goal against a couple of weeks ago, where he just, I think Southampton were small
twice.
Yeah, where he just didn't track. He jogged with him, but he didn't hug him. He didn't pressure him. Small bone, who looks like he's got 1,000 yellow little minions waiting at home for him, and it just managed just to place it in the net, and that really annoyed me. But he's young. He's not the finished product, is he, Somerville? And he will learn his trade, and he's doing well. But right, so I know with time's pressing on, so what we'll do is we'll move on to our next segment, which is Top Knob. It's everyone's favourite subject. So how it works is, for those that are new here or are listening for the first time, what we do is we look through the week and see who's been an absolute top knob, and we nominate and we throw our nominations in, and we vote on who's going to be a top knob. So let's get into Top Knob.
Top Knob.
So here we are, lads. Top Knob for episode 11. You first.
Oh, God's sake.
Kevin?
Hello.
Top knob.
Sorry, I lost you there for a second. Sorry, mate. My top knob is Kevin Nagel.
Kevin Nagel
Yes.
Go on,
he's Huddersfield Town chairman. Yes. Yeah. Oh, he's got nits. Well, he's got nits, but he's also he also come out today and said that Leeds we're charging them more than what they're going to charge us, but everyone knows that Leeds are doing reciprocal ticket pricing. So, and he's just thrown that out there, thinking that nobody would know what he's on about, and tried to tarnish Leeds with this. And basically, the whole fan base has gone back to him on the Twitter sphere and put him in his place. It's brilliant. So, yeah, he's my top knob of the week. He's got nits.
Just for legal reasons and the threat of legal action, we cannot confirm that he has nits or he doesn't have nits.
Kevin knows everything, remember?
Yeah,
Kevin knows everything. However, take it with a pinch of salt.
He may have nits.
Treatment.
Yeah, you may have nits,
allegedly. Yeah. Now that legal loophole is danced around. Thanks for that landmine, Kev.
Dog, please.
James,
who's
please. Your top knob?
Oh, well, you know I hate International Week, so whenever it's around, I have to nominate the internationals because I hate it so much. So
yeah,
my nomination is international football because it takes me away from my beloved Leeds.
Oh, very well poetically put. Yeah, well done. Go on then, Ger. Who's your top?
I'm not prepped for this, so I'm gonna just steal James because I agree. I can't stand international football. but obviously my international side are crap. So, but yeah, I feel like I've been held hostage for 2 weeks and been forced, my eyes been held open to watch Ireland playing. Sorry, are we clarify that? Stephen Kenny's Ireland playing. I would rather watch any version of Ireland playing except for Stephen Kenny's version of Ireland playing. So yeah, I can't stand international breaks right now.
So the fact that Ireland are not playing very good football, that has no impact on your decision whatsoever.
Apparently we are. He reckons that he's playing a lovely brand of passing football. This is a young team. He's like, yeah, it's a really good young bunch of players, but a really poor manager who's way above where he should be, miles above. Under 21 maybe.
Fair. That's fair.
Stephen Kenny Ireland currently.
That's 2 for international week and 1 for Kevin. Is it Kevin? Did you say Kev?
Yeah, his name's Kevin as well.
Ooh, bet you don't like that, do you?
No, I haven't got
his exact words were, just so you know, we've asked Leeds management to negotiate prices down for this match, and they said no. And then everyone has just put in there, back in July, ... post.
Yeah. But the thing is, because the tribalism is so fierce, everyone's tagging Leeds fans in it. You know, like Huddersfield Town fans. They're all like, well, you know, dirty Leeds. I'm like, well, if you just take your head out the bubble for a minute and look, you'll know that we're doing this because you got brought up.
You know that meme where you're like,
that's
like all Leeds fans to the post that we put, we put on the thing on. We're doing reciprocal pricing here. It's like, you sure? You sure? No.
Straight after this, I'm going to do it. Noted.
That's a good one, isn't it? That's a good one.
Yeah, I was gonna go with Kai Naismith because he celebrated like we knew who we were and like we give a shit about him. But I will go. Kai who?
I forgot him immediately after he scored.
So I will go with I'll nominate both, but that means that the internationals win. But Kevin has done my head in as well, so I'll go with internationals because I don't like internationals.
Yeah. Kevin deserves some, doesn't he? So.
He does need it. Yeah, idiot. So internationals is this week's top knob.
Top knob.
So with that, almost concludes this week's podcast, but we have one more segment to go, and it's called Ash's Questions. Ash's little question corner. Now.
Thanks, man.
Juan Martinez. You're
I'm
a nuisance.
Listen, I'm proud of my boy.
You are a nuisance.
This is Joe Big Bone we're talking to.
And apparently, Greece are winning Ireland. Now, Ash's questions. The amount of filtering and censoring I have to do for these questions is honestly no one. I've had to bleach my eyes twice. So what is said, and this is straight from Ash. Right, Shag, Marry, Annoy, Angus, Rads, and Orta. I want answers from all three of you, and I want for those people watching, I want you to put yours in the comments as well because this should be fun. So Shag, Marry, Annoy, Rads, Orta, and Kinnear. Who's going first? Hey?
I'll go first.
Oh, James.
Go on, James. We'll go you first.
Want to change Annoy to something else?
No.
I said no. Shag, Marry. Was it Shag, Marry, and
Annoy?
Annoy. I don't know. Annoy is Annoy an actual thing?
Avoid.
Avoid.
Avoid. That's a shame. I quite like the idea of just constantly annoying the same person.
Annoying somebody.
Annoying Angus Kinnear for ages. Just
constantly. Just keep poking him in the shoulder. Wait.
You're tough.
I've said. Did I say Shag, Marry, Annoy?
Yeah.
At the beginning? That's a fucking podcast. Sorry. What I mean is Shag, Marry, Avoid, but Shag, Marry, Kill. We'll go with Shag, Marry, Kill. Allegedly.
Okay.
Got to kill all.
You've got to kill him. You've got to kill him by kissing him to death.
Does that mean it's shag twice then?
It's like...
Don't have to be a good one, does it?
So many rules to this game, Danny.
Still got to do all. What's still got to be done
every week, mate.
However,
it's every week. We're a mutant podcast. But
can I go first now because I've got mine.
Come on then.
Okay, so what is it? It's Shag, Marry, Kill, yeah?
Kill.
Yeah. So kill Victor Orta.
Yeah.
Like
Agree.
kissing him to death. Just a bit of context.
Yeah. Shag Rads,
Yeah,
right?
agree.
Because he's got a bit of cash. But I'd marry Kinnear because I reckon
Yeah.
he would be the subservient one in the relationship. So I'll take Kinnear. I will. I reckon he'd be easily dominated by me.
Thought about
So,
that
yeah.
way too much.
Yeah.
And he still
I
works
know.
at Leeds as well. So he's the one you
Yeah.
marry. He still works
Yeah.
at Leeds.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So you can get free tickets.
yeah.
Yeah. Go on then,
Yeah,
James.
we need
What's your shag, marry,
I
kill,
agree.
Rads, Orta, and Kinnear?
Same. I agree. Same.
What's your
definitely.
reasonings though?
What do I have to give reasonings? Like
You can't. That's
Radrazan is
cheating.
probably-
You can't just copy.
Yeah.
Radrazan is prettier than Kinnear because Porter's dead, I guess. And yeah, Kinnear's like he works at Leeds, so you know you're always in there with him. So
Yeah.
I'll be his husband.
His husband.
Yeah.
Oh,
He is a he,
well, we have-
and I don't want to be the wife. So
Yeah.
that's how that works.
That's fair. Jer, I know it's a pressing question, but
The deep question.
Yeah.
Lots of reasons. I'm gonna flip it. So I agree with Orta. So yeah, kill. But I would go with Shagging and Angus because it's just done and dusted and it's out of the way. But you marry Rads because he's a busy man. He's going to be away a lot of the time and he's very rich. And I'll
That's
take
true.
the money and the nice gaff and the holiday homes and maybe see him twice a year. And then
And he would drink himself to like every night as well. He'd be getting on the vino, wouldn't he? So he'd probably be
Just when he's
asleep
starting
most
to
of
annoy
it.
you,
Yeah.
you go, dude, there's a bottle of red. There's your phone. Twitter's open. Go nuts.
Yes,
You know, I'll be
that's
popped.
I think he's
true.
one tweet away from losing his money, though. Definitely.
that's why it's deactivated,
Permanently
isn't it?
at that stage.
I think shout out to our previous sponsor, Radler's Winey. Pick up a local in your
Yes.
shop, in your local shop. But yeah, I'd be the other man with Radrazani. So I'd shag Rads, kill Orta, and I'd marry Kinnear, even though he looks like one of Saruman's messenger orcs, and because like Kev said, it'd be easy to
Manipulate.
manipulate, yeah. Whatever this is. For those audio listeners, I was wiggling my fingers.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I apologise for offending your ears, everyone who's listening and watching. But that concludes this podcast, and hopefully you've enjoyed yourself, Jer. Thank you for coming on.
That's been great, mate.
And
Enjoyed
James,
this.
always a pleasure to synergize this podcast with you. Which, for those who were watching, you'd know that the intro has now featured James and Kev, and we have amalgamated as such. And it's a pleasure to do the podcast with you guys.
Thanks, mate. Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Every week, mate. Every week.
Every
Jer,
week. Oh, yeah.
Every week.
You got loads of stuff going on your channel, mate. Naturally. Jer, can you hear me?
Oh, me? Yeah. News every day. Yeah. So news stuff is floating away. There's an interview up there with Michael Scubala as well from a couple of weeks ago as well.
Very good.
But yeah, just the news. I'll be recording my podcast later on tonight, so that goes out for my members tonight, and then everybody else tomorrow morning. So that's going to look back at the Augustine appeal, the Jorginho Rutter's record so far, which we just talked about, and then the developments in the stadium stuff. So we're going to chat about that later on tonight, and that'll be out tomorrow. So yeah, and then back to the news next week.
Ooh, yes, good stuff, man. Good stuff. And
Good.
Kev, busy Sunday?
Yes, we've got a show on Sunday, the Leeds House, which is obviously Danny's going to be joining us on Sundays for now. We'll be recording one on Sunday night, and it just depends what time we get finished and whether it'll be out Sunday night, Monday morning. You know what we're like. So, just keep an eye out for that as well. Thank you for coming.
But for everyone watching on the Jer's description, what is in this coffee? Jer's links is in the description.
Not coffee, by the sounds of it, mate.
Well, is it meant to make your eyes go blurry? I don't know. Maybe I'm just super caffeinated. Anyway, this is Dragger on. Thanks very much. Please like and subscribe, everyone. Right, now it's the time where you can either pretend to fold papers and do the news, or we can just wave a bye-bye. Which one do you do?
I'm
just
going to
do
look that way.
papers.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Just stare away. Thanks very much, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
See you later.